What's up, everybody? I made this video to show you all the ins and outs of the multiple choice portion of the AP exam, so let's do it. Okay, so half your AP score is going to be based on how you do on the multiple choice portion of the exam. Kind of seems so arbitrary, doesn't it? But anyway, you're going to have 80 minutes to answer 55 multiple choice questions, which is way more time than you'll need. Here's the breakdown of question by unit. So unit 1 is, well, you can pause the video if you want to look at this more closely. But this gives you an idea of what to focus on and how much you can expect to see each unit on the multiple choice portion of the exam. So this might help you decide how to divide up your time when you're studying for AP Gov. But more importantly, let's look into the different types of questions you can expect to see on this test. About 30 questions, which is more than half of the questions, are going to be basic standalone questions. These are questions without any visual stimulus. They include the more generic type of recall questions like the one seen here. Very straightforward, the kind of question that should be pretty easy if you've studied for the exam. These questions can also be scenario based, just like this one. It's still a relatively simple question, but it's not just basic recall. College Board is super proud of these kinds of questions because they take the concepts that you should be familiar with and present them to you within a scenario that you might not be familiar with, requiring you to apply your knowledge of the concepts. Then there are set-based questions, and these come in three different forms: quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and visual analysis. Quantitative questions are going to provide you with some kind of graph, table, or chart like this one. Remember, these are set-based questions, so that means that you'll have more than one question related to the graph or table. The first question is often very straightforward, essentially asking you a statement of fact about the graph. Now, the thing is, these aren't questions you can study for because we have no idea what graphs or charts will be featured on this year's exam. You just have to practice interpreting graphs until you feel comfortable with these types of questions. For tons of great practice questions, including 2 full-length multiple choice tests, make sure to check out the Ultimate Review Packet. I also plan on making a video soon where I walk you through some multiple choice practice. Do me a favor, let me know in the comments down below if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. But back to this question, one of the most important things to remember is to read the data carefully. Look at the title, see what each axis represents, as well as any key that might be present. Top tip, always make sure you know whether the data is talking about percentages and proportions or absolute numbers. The test creators are very good at making wrong answer choices that look good if you rush. Remember, you have 80 minutes, so take your time. No reason to rush through these questions. You got this. Usually, the second question in this set will ask you to apply the information contained in the data to a concept that you learned about in the course. These questions are higher level because they require you to both correctly interpret the data and know your content. Because you're somebody who knows their stuff, or at least you will be by test day, you're going to love these questions. There are also other visual questions that will provide you with a map or political cartoon like this one. Again, you'll be given 2 questions in conjunction with that map or cartoon. Like the quantitative analysis, you'll need to be able to both interpret the information and to apply it to other course concepts. Next up are the qualitative analysis questions. These are text-based questions. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna have to read. Based on the released exams that College Board has put out so far, it seems like you can expect to be given 2 different sets of text-based questions that each have 3 to 4 questions based on the text. So about 13% of your multiple choice score will be from these reading questions. You can expect one of the passages to be from a founding era document, most likely, but not necessarily, a Federalist paper. Could also be an anti-Federalist paper. But it almost assuredly won't be from a Federalist paper you've read before. So this is one of the reasons you have to actually read the documents. For the practice, reading that old-timey language so that you can be fluent in Madison and Hamilton speak for the test. Notice the questions that are linked to this passage from Federalist 84. The first is a basic comprehension question, essentially asking you for a main idea. The second question requires you to understand Hamilton's argument and to connect it to your knowledge of the Constitution. The third question requires you to make a connection between Hamilton's view and one of your required Supreme Court cases. So, if you know your Constitution and your cases, you should feel pretty good about both of those. And finally, they ask the classic, what else would the author most likely agree with question. But in this case, that seems to really be another way to low-key ask you what he's arguing. The other text-based question set will usually be from a more contemporary source than our required documents, so it might be a little easier. You still want to feel comfortable that you can comprehend the passage, identify an ideological or partisan perspective, and draw conclusions about the author's other beliefs, even if you've never heard of him or her before. Lastly, there are 5 comparison questions that look like this. I know some students don't like these, but personally, I think these questions are great for you. Obviously, both answers need to be right, so it's usually really easy to eliminate wrong answer choices, since if either answer is wrong, you can eliminate it. One good strategy might be to start with the side you think you know better and go through all 4 of the answers from just that column and eliminate all the wrong answers. You'll likely be left with 2 answers at most, so do the other column and focus on those 2 answers. Just an idea. And that's really it. Study your content, practice the skills that we talked about, and you are on your way to 5 City. Until next time, this has been a LaMoney production. Thanks again for watching. Please do me a huge favor and hit that like button if this video helped you out. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're looking for some really good high quality practice, check out the Ultimate Review Packet, study guides, practice tests, everything you need. Check it out, the link is in the description below. I'll see everybody in the next video.